Let me ask you something. When was the last time you looked at a car, really looked at one, and your brain said, wait, is that a Porsche, a Rolls-Royce, a Ferrari? And then someone told you it came out of a factory in China for a fraction of the price, and it was technically faster and loaded with more technology than anything Stuttgart or Maranello is currently shipping, because that moment is happening right now. In parking lots, at auto shows, on streets in Shanghai, Dubai, and Oslo. The brands that built those iconic silhouettes over the last 100 years are watching it happen, and they are deeply uncomfortable. Today on Torque Vision, we are covering 5 Chinese cars that look so staggeringly similar to the most legendary Western luxury vehicles on Earth that your eyes will genuinely lie to you. Some of these similarities are coincidental. Some of them were very, very intentional. And a few of them were literally designed by the exact same human beings who designed the originals. Let that one marinate for a second. This is not just a visual comparison video. This is the story of how China quietly hired the world's best automotive designers, handed them unlimited budgets, and told them to build something unforgettable. Buckle up, because number 1 will genuinely break your brain. Number 5. Zeekr 001 versus Porsche Panamera Sport Turismo, the car that makes Porsche's shooting brake look overpriced and underpowered. Let's start somewhere that already has the automotive world uncomfortable. The Zeekr 001. Zeekr is Geely's premium electric vehicle sub-brand, and before you dismiss that, understand that Geely also owns Volvo, Polestar, and Lotus. These people know what premium looks like. And with the 001, they took one very long look at the Porsche Panamera Sport Turismo and said, yes, we can do that, better and cheaper. From the side, bro, from the side. The sweeping fastback roofline, the elongated rear haunch, the coupe-style silhouette stretched over a full-size chassis. It is unmistakably in the same visual conversation as the Panamera wagon. Top Gear called it out, noting that Zeekr's engineers were directly benchmarking Porsche's cars during development. This was not an accident. This was a calculated design language adoption. But here is where it stops being a copy story and starts being an embarrassment for Porsche. The Zeekr 01 is fully electric, dual motor. It produces up to 536 horsepower, hits 60 miles per hour in 3.8 seconds, and delivers up to an eye-watering 621 miles of CLT range. A Porsche Panamera 4S starts at around $115,000 and does the sprint in 4.1 seconds. The Zeekr 001 starts at roughly $45,000 in China. For a car with Harman Kardon audio, a stunning minimalist interior, and specs that leave the Panamera genuinely struggling to keep up in a straight line. The exterior detail work is sharp and confident. Flush door handles, massive aero blade wheels, a rear light bar that stretches bank to bank across the full width. Inside, you get a clean Scandinavian-influenced cabin that feels like someone handed Volvo designers an unlimited electric vehicle budget and told them to go wild. Because essentially, that is what happened. And the kicker? Some Porsche Taycan owners in China actually started replacing their badges with Zeekr ones, not the other way around. Let that tell you everything about where the cultural momentum is right now. Number 4. Neta GT versus Ferrari Roma and Portofino, the budget Ferrari that actually exists. Okay, deep breath, because this one is going to be a lot. The Neta GT is a 2-door electric sports coupe from Hosan Auto, a brand most people in the West have never heard of. It launched in 2023 at the Shanghai Auto Show and immediately caused a small international incident when anyone with a Ferrari catalog in their head laid eyes on those headlights and the conversation started. BitAuto, one of China's biggest automotive publications, ran a direct design comparison between the Neta GT and the Ferrari Portofino and Roma. Their conclusion was that the front end of the GT, particularly those elongated, slanted headlights, carries unmistakable DNA from the prancing horse's smaller Grand Tourers. The aggressive low nose, the wide body stance with a 1.4 width-to-height ratio, the rising belt line, it absolutely reads sports car, and it absolutely reads Italian, even though it was built in Zhejiang. Now here is where I fully lose my mind. The base Neta GT starts at approximately $25,000. The Ferrari Roma starts at around $230,000. That is not a pricing gap. That is a different dimension of reality. For $25,000, you are getting a real two-door sports coupe with rear-wheel drive, 228 horsepower, a 17.6-inch vertical touchscreen powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8155 chip, 12-speaker surround sound with in-seat bass, ambient lighting, and up to 560 kilometers of CLT range. Step up to the all-wheel drive GT580 and you get 456 horsepower and 580 kilometers of range for around $31,000. That is still less than the destination fee on a Roma. The interior makes some concessions. You are not getting Napa leather at this price. But the faux carbon fiber is genuinely convincing. The synthetic leather is decent, and the technology experience is completely class-leading. This car was explicitly designed for young Chinese buyers who want their first sports car, and what they got is something that looks like a Ferrari at a stoplight and costs less than the Roma's optional wheels. I am not making this up. Ferrari headlights, electric powertrain, $25,000. This happened. Number 3. Hongqi H9 versus Rolls-Royce Phantom and Ghost, the one designed by an actual Rolls-Royce man. This is where things get genuinely fascinating. With the Hongqi H9, we are not talking about a Chinese brand that was merely inspired by Rolls-Royce. We are talking about a Chinese brand that literally hired the man who used to design Rolls-Royces and said, "Build us something worthy." Giles Taylor is the former head of design at Rolls-Royce. He is the man responsible for the visual language of the Ghost and Phantom generation that cemented the brand's modern identity. He left Rolls-Royce and joined FAW Group, Hongqi's parent company. Then he co-designed the H9 alongside Chinese designer Ding Yangfeng. Kinev Post dubbed it the Chinese Rolls-Royce before it even launched. Internet users in China just call it the red flag Ghost. Look at it. The upright, commanding front fascia, the waterfall chrome grille with intricate lattice detailing that catches light like jewelry. The long pillar-free side profile with that elegant, unbroken sweep from bonnet to boot. Arrow feather LED daytime running lights that pulse with quiet confidence. It does not shout. It does not need to. It simply arrives, and everything else moves out of the way. The H9 stretches 5.1 meters long. That is over 16 feet of pure presence. The wheelbase on the extended H9 Plus version gives rear passengers limousine-grade legroom, complete with what Hongqi calls a VIP rear lounge configuration with individual seat controls, massage, and a center armrest that folds out into a workspace. Inside, there is real wood trim, Napa leather throughout, a full LCD instrument cluster, and a large central display. It carries the red flag brand's hallmark presidential aesthetic. This is, after all, the mark that ferries Chinese heads of state. Here is where your jaw hits the floor. The Hongqi H9 starts at around $44,000 in China. A Rolls-Royce Ghost begins at approximately $585,000. The H9 was literally co-designed by the same creative mind responsible for making the Ghost look the way it does today, and you can have it for less than 8% of the Ghost's price tag. Is it the same car? Of course not, but does it look like one? Ask the people on the streets of Dubai, where Hongqi has already launched. They are doing double takes, guaranteed. Number 2, Xiaomi SU7 versus Porsche Taycan. I need you to understand the full audacity of what Xiaomi did here. This is a smartphone company, a company that also sells rice cookers and robot vacuum cleaners. In 2021, their CEO Lei Jun announced they were going to build a car. The automotive world laughed. 3 years later, the Xiaomi SU7 set a certified lap record at the Nürburgring Nordschleife that beat the Porsche Taycan Turbo GT's time. That's not a metaphor. That literally happened in April 2025 on German soil with the whole world watching. But before we get to the performance, the looks. Oh, bro, the looks. On Chinese social media, the SU7 picked up a nickname before it even launched called Mi Porsche. And when you see the two cars side by side, it is not hard to understand why. The sloping fastback roofline dips dramatically toward a flush, sculpted rear, the wide, muscular haunches, the low, aggressive nose with a sealed front end and recessed lighting. The side profile is hauntingly similar to the Taycan, a resemblance so obvious that Porsche's own former China CEO was asked about it directly at a press event. His answer was, maybe good designs always resonate with each other, and that is diplomatic enough to be almost funny. What is not funny, or rather what is absolutely devastating if you are Porsche, is the spec sheet. The SU7 Max delivers 673 horsepower, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.7 seconds, a drag coefficient of 0.195, more aerodynamically slippery than the Taycan, a range of up to 516 miles on a charge, 800-volt architecture. Inside, a massive 16.1-inch central display running Xiaomi HyperOS, a system that connects your phone, your smart home, your wearables, and your car in a unified ecosystem that no German brand comes close to matching. Adaptive air suspension, dual wireless charging, 12-speaker audio, and a panoramic roof with electrochromic glass. The SU7 standard starts at approximately $30,000. The Max variant that beat Porsche around the Nürburgring starts around $42,000. The Porsche Taycan starts at $95,000 in the United States. The Taycan Turbo S lists for $220,000. That is the car the SU7 Ultra beat around Germany's most famous track. Let that one sink in. Take your time. Over 50,000 units sold in the first 10 minutes after orders opened in China. Some Taycan owners in China started peeling off their badges and fitting Xiaomi script, and Xiaomi is just getting started. A long wheelbase SU7L, designed with clear visual similarities to the Porsche Panamera Executive, is already confirmed for 2026. Number 1. YangWang U9 versus Ferrari Sefnini and Lamborghini Aventador. When BYD built a supercar designed by an Audi and Alfa Romeo legend, and it became the fastest thing on earth. Right. Let's talk about the most insane car on this list. The one that doesn't just look like a Ferrari, it beats one. And it was built by BYD. Yes, BYD, the company that makes electric buses. The company Ford's CEO said was an existential threat to the American auto industry. That BYD. The YangWang U9 is BYD's ultra-luxury sub-brand electric supercar, and it was designed by Wolfgang Egger, the man who previously served as head of design at Alfa Romeo, Audi, and Lamborghini. Let that list breathe for a second. Alfa Romeo, Audi, Lamborghini. And now he's building hypercars in China. Look at this thing from the front. Low, wide, menacing. The lighting signature is unmistakably supercar, sharp, angular, dripping with aggression. The hood vents are functional. 12 active and passive aerodynamic elements, including a 4-speed adjustable rear wing and an active diffuser. Massive 21-inch wheels wrapped in Pirelli P0s, the same tires you'd find on a Ferrari. Scissor-style vertical door openings. At 4.96 meters long and 2.02 meters wide, it sits right in the same dimensional universe as the Lamborghini Aventador. But none of that is why this car is number one. It's number one because of what happens when you put your foot down. 4 independent electric motors, 1 per wheel. Combined output, 1,287 horsepower. Maximum torque, 1,680 Newton meters, a number that sounds less like a car specification and more like a geological event. 0 to 62 miles per hour in 2.36 seconds. The Ferrari SF Stradale, the one with a 1,000 horsepower hybrid V8 that costs over $500,000, does it in 2.5 seconds. The U9 is quicker, and it costs $233,000. Half the price. It gets crazier. The BYD Dissus X intelligent body control system can individually raise and lower each corner of the car at a peak lifting speed of 500 millimeters per second. What does that mean in English? It means this supercar can literally jump. It can dance to music. Videos of it bouncing in sync to a beat went viral globally. It is the most unhinged party trick in automotive history, and it is completely irrelevant to everything else this car does, because what it does is this. In April 2025, a YangWang U9 Ultra set a certified Nürburgring Nordschleife lap time of 7 minutes, 4.9 seconds, making it the fastest road legal four-door vehicle ever recorded on that track. And then, in September 2025, BYD unveiled the U9 Extreme, a limited run of 30 cars globally with 2,977 horsepower, nearly 3,000 horsepower. It achieved a certified top speed of 496 kilometers per hour. That's 308 miles per hour. It is officially the fastest production car in the world at any price, from any country. The standard U9 charges from 30% to 80% in 10 minutes at 500 kilowatts. Inside, two 14-way adjustable race seats, a Dynaudio Evidence Series audio system, and BYD's DiBA-Link intelligent cockpit platform. It's not a luxury interior in the traditional sense, it's a cockpit, because this is a weapon wearing road car clothing. Wolfgang Egger built something that makes Maranello look cautious. China built the fastest car on Earth, and nobody was ready for that. So there you have it. 5 Chinese cars, 5 legendary Western silhouettes, and a story that is bigger than any single vehicle on this list, because what we are actually talking about here is a fundamental transfer of automotive ambition. China did not just hire ex-Ferrari engineers and Rolls-Royce designers and Lamborghini creative directors to make cars that look like Western icons. They hired them to build something that proves the icon-making capability now lives somewhere else entirely. Rolls-Royce, Porsche, Ferrari, these brands built their reputations over decades. And China studied every single line, every proportion, every design language decision those brands ever made. Then they out-engineered them, outpriced them, and in some cases, literally at the Nürburgring, on the clock, in front of the whole world, outran them. The question is no longer whether China can build cars that look like the world's finest. The question is whether the world's finest can rebuild their case for why they cost so much more. Which one of these broke your brain the most? Drop it in the comments. I need to know if it is the Xiaomi beating Porsche at the Nürburgring or the YangWang being the fastest production car on the planet. Either answer is correct. Both are insane. If you are new here, subscribe to Torque Vision right now, because the next video is going to make this one look like a warm-up. We are only just getting started.